This is Good Morning San Diego.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to plead not guilty when he faces a federal judge tomorrow after being indicted for, get this, a third time in connection with efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Special Counsel Jack Smith is charging Trump with 4 felony counts, including conspiracy to defraud the United States and conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. These charges are stemming from Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigation into the Capitol riot that took place back on January 6, 2021, and his attempts to allegedly overturn the 2020 election. Trump has denied all wrongdoing related to the 2020 election. Joining me now to discuss the charges and what it means for the former president, criminal defense attorney Vikas Bajaj. Vic, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. So it seems like the president, every time he wakes up, another indictment log is being thrown on the fire. Explain this latest one.
Absolutely. I'd encourage everybody to take a look at the 45-page indictment. It's an easy read, but basically it's 3 counts. One is an attempt to defraud the United States by the certification process being subverted according to the indictment. The second is also to make sure that the people who cast their votes did not have their votes counted, so depriving of that liberty. There's a number of charges that are included in here, and it's very important to understand that these are significantly powerful allegations. The reason for that here is because these do carry significant punishments. Now, in the indictment, and again, I encourage everybody to take a read on this here, there are at least 6 co-conspirators and other people who are percipient witnesses. So the question then becomes, will at least 6 people testify against the president? Now, I can tell you as a federal defense litigator here and throughout cases in our country that I handle, when the United States government, Special Counsel, Department of Justice, alleges co-conspirators, and they are unnamed, the conclusion is they are cooperating in the investigation, they are unindicted, and they're sort of singing for their supper, as they say. Don't indict me, I'll cooperate, I'll be a government's witness. So it remains to be seen what the strength of those allegations are. Understand the indictment is just a piece of paper. It's not evidence. But the outlining by Special Counsel Jack Smith in this indictment, in what we would call a speaking indictment. It's not just count 1, count 2, count 3. It's count 1 because of 20 paragraphs, count 2 because of 30 paragraphs, and count 3 because of 40 paragraphs. It's a speaking indictment that outlines their entire case.
The timing, does it strike you peculiar? Why did it take this long? If these allegations are as serious as the special counsel would say, then why did it take this long to become public?
Well, there's a number of ways to answer that question. One is to say, well, it's strategic because of other indictments and investigations that are going on. Another is to also judiciously look at how the United States government works when it comes to federal prosecutions. It's not as easy as assembling the witnesses, taking statements, putting them all together and saying this is what they'll say. These witnesses have attorneys. These witnesses may have put forward immunity or protection privileges that the Department of Justice then had to go through. A judge may have had to make rulings to mandate the cooperation of these individuals. Now, we're talking about something January 6, 2020, at or around, before and a little bit after, right? Mainly before. If you look at how federal cases are conducted in comparison to state cases, I always tell my clients a state case is when a law enforcement officer pulls you over for making an illegal right turn and they find something bad in your trunk. And the investigation's opened and shut, sent to the district attorney's office, and a prosecution comes about. A federal investigation, however, is when your neighbor is a star witness and you don't know, and you've been living next to that person for 5 years. Now, in a simplified form, we can take that logic and carry it over here. An investigation that takes almost 3 years to complete, or a little over 3 years to result in an indictment, is not rare when you're dealing with the Department of Justice, Special Counsel, or any federal investigation. Surely when you have percipient witnesses that may have privileges they need to assert.
So then you would push back against the president who's saying this is all about hindering my ability to win the office of president in 2024. You think that the president is wrong on that?
I don't think he's wrong on that. I think that's his opinion, and he may be privy, he may have more knowledge than I have here just reading a publicly published indictment. I think that's a reasonable assertion, but there's also another reasonable assertion, which is these are the wheels of justice moving the way that they would normally move in a federal indictment. I'm not privy to know exactly what dialogue has happened between him and special counsel, so we'd have to give him the benefit of that doubt.
Vic, let me just get plugged in here. We seem to seemingly have an indictment logjam here with a lot of different legal cases circling the president. Who gets priority, and how do you get this all fit in before the 2024 election?
That's going to be a difficult proposition. I mean, every defendant has a right to effective assistance of counsel, to gain more discovery. Importantly, in the federal arena versus the state arena. In a state criminal case, the prosecutorial entity has to give you all the evidence against you right away.
Right.
In the federal prosecutorial entities, Department of Justice, special counsel, as in this case, there is no such obligation. So only until the defense attorneys file the motions to compel discovery to gain all the information against, in this case, defendant Donald Trump, will we actually have all the cards on the table that may be used against him. It's going to be a long battle. There's going to be immunity privileges, motions to dismiss. I'd be hard-pressed to believe that this can actually move forward. This indictment can actually be moved forward until the election. Now, Special Counsel Jack Smith says, I want this moving forward right away, and there's some real reasons for that. Either it's a underhanded card game, or it's because we can't have a candidate go into the election with these allegations hanging over his head.
Man, the legal bills must be insane, huh?
Absolutely, and we've heard tens of millions of dollars in this case and counting. You have to have good lawyers, and they're probably working around the clock.
A lot of them.
Yes.
Vic, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.